Hi Sagittarius, this is your horoscope for August 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to have a look at what the planets are doing in your chart in the month of August and how that's going to influence you. The point of these monthly horoscopes is to give you an idea of the good energies that are coming in free of charge, which you can use to your advantage, and how to avoid some of the potential negatives. Now, speaking of potential negatives, I was looking at this chart before I came on live with you guys, and we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, in retrograde at the moment. Venus is a personal planet and it's responsible for those things. So when it goes retrograde and it appears to go backwards, it creates quite a lot of problems for all of the signs, right? Starting new relationships becomes more difficult. Seeing someone as they really are without projecting what you would like them to be, that becomes an issue. Starting a new business becomes an issue because things may conspire to be in a way that you didn't want them to be, that it doesn't go as planned. And ultimately that your hopes and dreams for this new venture are shot. So Venus is in retrograde until the 3rd of September. And in your case, Sagittarius, it's in one of the signs that you can kind of connect with quite easily because you share an element. It's in the sign of Leo, which is the same element as yours. It's fire. So Venus in Leo is not subtle. Venus in Leo likes a lot of attention. It likes to use its voice. It likes to be creative. It likes to experience life and to really see every aspect of life. It's wild. It's full of life. It's adventurous. It's joyous. And then you add 26 to it. 2 and 6 is 8. And 8 in numerology is strength and power. So we've got this retrograde Venus sitting in Leo in retrograde in your 9th house at the top of your chart. And it's saying, hey Sagittarius, don't be responsible in August. Go on a trip. Don't worry about the details and the bills. Just run free. It's encouraging you to be excessive, to shirk your responsibilities, to live life, and to throw caution to the wind. Now, of course, it's great to throw caution to the wind once in a while and to really experience life. I think we all need to do that. But in this case, it feels like you're doing it in order to avoid certain things. So the first thing I would caution you here in August, if things need to be done, if there's paperwork or officialdom that needs tending to, please tend to it. And then fulfill this desire of Venus to go explore and to have experiences. So go on trips and do sports and activities that kind of make you feel like you are living this adventurous, carefree life. That's really important for you in August. If you feel like you're just trapped and bogged down with work and responsibilities, that's really going to grate and could put you in a really bad mood. On the 1st of August, we've got a full moon in Aquarius, and that happens in your 3rd house of communication at 4 degrees. So you're going to be very invested in kind of living a good life and pulling other people into that with you and having fun. I don't think you're going to be overly tolerant of people who tell you what to do or instruct you on how you should be living your life. So there's an element of wanting to avoid conflict, wanting to avoid responsibility, and being around people who kind of share a similar worldview to you. So it doesn't seem particularly productive, and just me listening to the way I'm talking and reading between the lines, it almost feels like with the Venus retrograde, you've lost some of your confidence and you're hiding out. You're unwilling to see the truth. And if we put our heads in the sands and we ignore the things that we need to deal with, they usually catch up with us. So I just want to put that out there. If you notice yourself just being totally excessive and behaving in a way which isn't consistent with the way you usually would, or in a way that you don't find is going to be sustainable, that's a red flag to pay attention to that and to reconsider what you're doing. And I think for August, you guys Sagittarius, it's important to balance you having fun and feeling like you're free and you can do what you want with work and responsibilities and duties, and try and balance them kind of 60-40. Because there needs to be more fun and adventure for you not to get frustrated, but there still needs to be a focus on your responsibilities in order to maintain the status quo. So you guys are the most at risk of behaving in a way which is excessive. So that full moon at the beginning of the month is also going to make it seem like, you know, my ideas here are right and I'm trying to have a good time and everyone else is just out to kind of get me almost. So that seems a little bit paranoid because, you know, the thing is, none of us are so interesting that other people spend all their time thinking about us. So that's something to just put to the side, and there's no malice or ill intent behind you kind of paying your rent. It's just something that you're going to have to do. You're getting something of value, you have to give the value back, kind of thing. And just to kind of, sorry, it sounds like I'm counseling you, but I'm just saying the balances are out of whack in August. And if you want to have a good time, try and keep the scales on an even keel. Yeah. Okay, you've got Mercury in Virgo and Mars in Virgo. Both of those are in your 11th house. So I don't think your relationships are going to offer much of a problem. I think you might be a little bit bored by people, especially if you find them like overly conservative or rigid or unfun. You may be like, ugh, you know, I've had enough of this, and being sensible and all of that stuff. But I think in earnest, like genuine issues in your relationships, I really don't see that there are any. I just feel like your fun levels are low and you're kind of bristling against that a little bit. So find what you can do for yourself that is fun and that kind of blows that sense of frustration out of the water. On the 16th of August, we have a new moon in Leo, and that happens in your 9th house as well. So on the 16th, this drive and this desire to be irresponsible and to go see the world and to throw caution to the wind, that desire and that tendency is going to peak. So if you can plan something travel related around the middle of the month, that would work best. And then on the 23rd of August, Mercury goes into retrograde. So I really don't see that work or relationships have been an issue for you in August, nor do I think they will be. But with Mercury going retrograde in your 10th, work-wise, there may be little errors that crop up, like sending, you know, a proposal with spelling mistakes or the wrong totals at the bottom. Make sure you check all the information carefully, especially in the last week of August. On the 28th of August, we've got Uranus going into retrograde. Uranus is an outer planet, so the outer planets are in retrograde for about 6 months. So I pay really close attention to the retrogrades of the personal planets. Mercury, Mars, Venus, because as in the name, they affect you personally, right? The outer planets are more about the world and the cultural dynamic. And because they're in retrograde for half a year, obviously the timings are much longer. But Uranus is anything can happen, any miraculous thing. And at 23 degrees in Taurus in your 6th house, it's similar. It's the sense of there will be other jobs. Sorry, let me say that again. The type of thinking that says there will be other jobs, so I can just traipse out of this one and not be responsible. There will be years ahead where I can eat healthily and exercise, so I may as well smoke this cigarette right now. Or it's money comes and goes, so I really don't need to be too careful or worry about being ripped off in this instance because I'll make more money in future. It's that kind of thinking that says, ugh, whatever, I don't need to be responsible or care, I can just go on my merry little way. So while it's direct the whole month, it feeds into your Venus retrograde in Leo in your 9th house, and and it feeds into this tendency to just say, ugh, to hell with it, I'm just going to do whatever I like. So for you guys, as the only sign in the zodiac really, the Uranus retrograde is actually a positive, because with it going retrograde in Taurus in your 6th house, it's kind of like the brakes are coming on, and it's like, I don't really need to create any chaos in my life, thank you very much. And then Jupiter is right next to it. That is still direct until September, but that's at 15 degrees in Taurus. And whenever that is in conjunction with another planet, it expands it and makes it bigger, right? So at the end of the month, you'll really sense this feeling of, oh, I can settle. I don't need to run around the country looking at all the different sites. It's okay for me to just sit here on the sofa and to read my book and to enjoy my afternoon, for example. You don't feel as driven, you see? Then on the 30th of August, we've got another full moon. That's something that only happens once, and this is where, I don't know where the expression comes from, but the expression is once in a blue moon, to indicate something that happens really rarely. So we do have a blue moon happening on the 30th of August, and it's the second full moon in August. This full moon is in Pisces, and it happens in your 4th house. So, oh, and the other thing about this blue moon is that it's a supermoon. It's closer to the Earth than the moon is at any other point in the year 2023. So the influence of this full moon is going to be felt much more profoundly. And it's in your fourth house next to Saturn and Neptune, also in Pisces. So the end of the month, I would say the 29th, 30th and 31st of August is really a great time for family unity and sitting at home and actually not being bored and enjoying the company and the house and feeling a sense of rest. So, like if you're working in another country and you go home to see your family in the other country once in a while, like a lot of people do. Like when I was in England, there were a lot of people, I did the same thing. I worked and lived in England, and then I'd go see my mum in Austria like once a year or something. If you're doing something similar, then the beginning of August, the majority of August isn't the best time to go home because you've got itchy feet and you want to be doing stuff, right? If you do have a visit ahead that you want to, a visit that you want to kind of plan, I don't know why I'm stuttering. Do it from the 29th of August going into September. You'll be much calmer and you'll actually be able to enjoy the presence and the company of your friends and family and loved ones without having ants in your pants and feeling like you need to rush off to the next thing and go be free somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so with all of that said, the one thing that you're certainly not going to be missing here in August is energy or confidence or a desire to do things. I think your interest is captured really easily. I think you're fascinated by lots of different things. So open yourself up to what you can study and learn about and experience, and try and balance that with the responsibilities of everyday life, and you'll be sitting sweet. There we go. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with in August. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a fabulous day, and I will speak to you soon. Not a fabulous day, a fabulous month of August. Exactly. Have a wonderful month, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Bye.